Just a while ago, Toby Fox sent everyone a message saying there was going to be an Undertale / Deltarune newsletter that was coming out every few months, or I guess every single kind of like season. Right now we have issue 2 for spring 2023, and I kind of wanted to go through this just a little bit because I feel like this is so important to my channel, and it's a franchise that is a really big deal on my channel. I love Undertale. Deltarune is one of the greatest games so far ever created, and Undertale I feel the same way about that too. Just incredible dialogue, incredible music, incredible characters, incredible emotion. It's one of the greatest games ever made, and it was done by a single creator with help from a few artists and things like that. It was actually, just a miracle that was even like made and took off like it did because it was so freaking good. But that's what the internet can do for you. Issue 2, Spring 2023. Welcome to spring. Can you believe it's been 3 months already? Not me, because I've been writing this in February. Ha 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 ha. Already a very Toby Fox way of doing things. The little haha. It's like a little bee swinging from tree to tree. Yeah, Toby Fox has a really great way of being random without feeling like the randomness is like forced. Like it feels like whenever Toby Fox is like writing something that is crazy. Like this is how you know his like dialogue in his games is like so like not forced. It's so natural, even though it's weird sometimes. Like Papyrus comes out so many times, I feel like, in his own writings. Anyways, hope you're ready for some news related to Undertale / Deltarune. As always, it's our first priority for those in our truck freak tier. Non-Undertale Deltarune news. Okay, so we're getting some non-Undertale / Deltarune news. Alright, I betrayed you, but this time it's important. Allow me to tell you about something I'm very proud of. Beautiful art here as well. A while ago, I created a song called Itoki Hana, the Greatest Living Show. For its release, I thought it'd be nice to commission a music video from Bani-chan, the album artist for our song 74. I gave her a loose outline of the story and the translation of lyrics, and let her handle everything else. After 2 long years, the video has finally been completed. The art is actually really beautiful. Over 2 long years, Bonnie created the entire music video from beginning to end, all by herself. Every frame, every pose, every camera angle, every character design, the effects, the processing, everything was painstakingly done by her hand. She worked chronologically from beginning to end, and as its development went on, her abilities and standards raised higher and higher, ultimately compressing 2 years of hard work and improvement to a 4-minute running time. You may notice this as you watch the video. Really cool that he's advertising this as well. I guess it is for his own work as well, though. Bani sacrificed her something and something to bring you this. Her time and her effort, or anything. I guess the reason why it's blacked out, unless there is a... No. Yeah. I actually think that like leaves an opening to kind of like be like, it could be her time, her sweat, her blood, her tears, everything. Because it kind of lets you kind of fill in the blank. It could be anything to bring you this. Now, finally, she and her work stand in the spotlight before you, so please put on your mask, raise your glasses, and behold, now in live color, the world's greatest show. There's graphic content in this, it says, so I won't be watching it just in case. But it's there for people that do want to watch it. I might put the link out maybe on Twitter or in the description of this video. The Greatest Living Show art book. Alright, you've seen the show, right? Great, head on over to our gift shop. Man, that's actually really pretty. I love a good art book. Personally, I wanted to make an art book from the art from the video, so I'm making a fan gamer make one. If other people want one, you can probably buy one too, but it's mostly for me. By the way, the music is by me and Itoki Hana. If you wanted it, you can buy it somewhere here, probably. Toby Fox is an unbelievably well-respected musician as well, and that's one of the things that like people probably don't understand if you haven't played Undertale. I didn't truly understand how good his music was until I played Undertale, because you can go like, oh, he made a song for Sword and Shield, and it's like, in a vacuum, the Pokemon music is already really freaking good, so like, whenever he makes a song for that game, it's very difficult to like, separate his music from the other music sometimes, because you're so into the game. But when you play Undertale and Deltarune, you hear the music in those games, you hear how emotionally heightened they are. It's really difficult to not just like, say, like, he's one of the greatest composers of all time. For me, like, of course, my favorite composers of all time, Shoji Majoro in Persona. I always pronounce it wrong. Don't worry. The Persona series and the Shin Megami Tensei series to me is like the greatest composer. I'm blanking on the person who did the composing for Nier Automata and Nier Replicant. I tweeted this out. You can find my favorite composers on Twitter. Just search my Twitter handle and Calvin and composers, and you'll find all my favorite composers in one tweet. Yeah. Okay, so Undertale Psych. Oh, there's an interview. Kikiyama interview. The atmospheric Yume Nikki is one of my biggest influences, which kind of makes sense. It kind of made sense that like 2D games in general would be like 2D RPG Maker games would be kind of like a big inspiration for Toby Fox. You can get it on Steam now, which is crazy. We might play this. I haven't actually played this at all. I was, you know, obviously around at the time. You know what I mean? I was around at the time for when this was happening. So that's why I kind of like realize all this stuff. That's why I kind of know all this stuff. That's why I'm kind of like on the pulse. I started like getting into YouTube really in like 2012, around there. RPG Maker games and RPG games of the like. Not saying it's an RPG Maker game, but you know what I mean? Those type of games were getting huge at the time. As far as I can tell, it's the only interview he's ever done, but to be honest, I think it's because I don't think anyone tried to interview him in a reasonable way before. What made the interview reasonable? Well, I only asked him 9 yes or no questions, and 1 Denny's question. Well, I don't need to describe the interview. You can actually read it for free online here if you know Japanese. I do not know Japanese, so I don't think we can read it. But again, I'll put a link to that in the description below if you do want to read that. I do have some Japanese viewers, Yumiko and the likes. Rakuin, Mr. Saito, and an annoying song. Do you know the singer of I'm With You in the Dark from Deltarune, Laura Shigehara? She's got her own goofy and emotional RPG Maker game, Rakuin. Okay. Available now on Switch. This time it comes with a short extra game called Mr. Saito. In this game, there's an encounter with a particularly annoying character. Laura is having trouble making an annoying song for it, so she asked me to help, you know, since she knew I'd be good at it. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, I sure can make annoying music, can't I? Whatever you say, Laura. I need someone that can make annoying music. That's true. Okay. Undertale / Deltarune music. Okay, cool. So versus news. Sorry. Game progress. We are mainly focusing on Chapter 3. Okay. The translation process for Chapter 3 is getting really close to starting. Actually, I haven't told the translator this, so she'll learn this when we're translating this text. Have fun with that one. The following facts are for only higher subscription tiers. So we have Game Progress 3 Adventure. Please don't hack the game code of the game and look at it this time because we have 4,000 little tree objects in one room, and we tried to run on consoles and test it, and it wasn't even reaching 30 FPS. We fixed it in several hours, but the following fact is a Maniac exclusive. Cowboy segment. Oh my lord. Look at Susie. Look at Susie. Oh my god. True Maniacs know that there is some sort of extremely brief cowboy scene in Chapter 3. This was teased on the Spampton Sweepstakes website. However, the segment is in danger of being cancelled. Seriously, one of the only segments that we tease may end up getting cancelled. Well, that's how cowboy shows go, I guess. By the way, if you didn't know the initial cowboy fact, then you need to unsubscribe from the Maniac tier and go down 1 tier. Sorry. You need to, like, do the work if you want to stay in that tier. It's like Splatoon. Every season your ranking gets reset. You can tell that, like, it's always good to know that someone's having fun writing a freaking newsletter. You know what I mean? I feel like you can tell when someone like is just doing this for the sake of it. I feel like they feel like this is a really fun way of updating all of us. And I think what's cool about it as well is because you make a newsletter fun, right? They could have easily just made like this the most boring things you ever read in your life. By the way, when I was playing Anarchy Open in Splatoon 3, someone named Sans showed up and kicked my ass. I guess that's karma. What kind of karma? I wouldn't be able to handle that I created Sans, to be honest. Like, that's like everywhere, and like people probably like, you know, doing the music all the time, which is a good song, you know. It's a good tune that accompanies Sans, but yeah. Sans and Poppin' music. Sans make his debut in Poppin' music as a playable character. Honestly, Poppin' series is one of my favorite rhythm games series, so this was like a dream come true for me. His appearance and movement are quite different from how he appears in Undertale, but it's super cute. If you'd like to see a bit of different Sans, check it out. Probably won't. The Seasons comic, Grillby Rogue Gallery. Grillby's Rogues Gallery. Read the comic. There's a comic. Hold on a second. There's a full-on comic here. So this is the... Is this the pub you go into? Yeah, the Grillby's, right? The pub you always go into. This is actually pretty interesting. Profile Grillby. Although he's made of fire, ironically he prefers the cold. That's why he moved on from the hotland. The flames in his bodies are magical and can be controlled, except when he gets angry or flustered. Fortunately, he has a cool and collected personality. He's also very quiet. Hearing him speak in the bar could be considered rare and a treat. Outside of it, it's not known if he speaks more. Make no mistake, he can burn something with his body, but at its coldest, the flame's heat is like hot water bottle, and the waves of the heat feel like silk. The glasses he serves are very thick when you pick them up. The outside will always be hot from his hand, but the inside stays nice and cool with a little ice. It's just about perfect. Okay. Is he roasting a marshmallow? It's a really good design as well. If you visit Grillby's, it's best to order a hot drink because he can heat it up by hand. The hot chocolate in particular is nice because he toasts the marshmallows in his palm. Yeah, we saw it there. He used to resent he couldn't make a snowman by hand. However, one day 2 children made a snowman in the shape of him. He hangs a picture of it on his bar and considers it a prized photograph. This is a tiny thing. This is what Toby Fox gets, by the way, creating tiny things about your characters. Like, it makes them way more full. Profile Bunny. Always complaining that she wishes there were more hot guys around. However, she generally just sits in one place and takes no particular action towards anything, constantly eating fries until she gets dizzy. Occasionally flirts with Grillby and Sans, who she calls Sansy. Sometimes asks Grillby to toast marshmallows in his mouth for her. Now he no longer even touches her food, choosing instead to use the redundant heating element he has in the back. So he cooks her food normally, which is kind of funny. Profile Bird. Due to Grillby's silence on the job, she often tries to translate what he's thinking to other customers for him. She enjoys this responsibility and considers it a good deed, despite the fact that she's sometimes wrong. Sometimes has disagreements with Sans because he tends to call her out when she gets it wrong, to Grillby's relief. However, Sans' corrected translation of what Grillby wants to say is always even worse, often prompting Grillby to step in. Lets Bunny steal her fries. See, again, these tiny things. Lets her steal her fries. Has arguments with Sans. I know more about this character's personality now than if they told me, like, her mother died when she was 3. You know what I mean? It's the little things matter so much. Profile Fish. A slovenly type. Is in a drink where fish food is scattered. His usual is a drink where a fish food is scattered on top of a set of a flame. He keeps trying to get a girlfriend but only uses methods resembling harmless animal traps. Examples include an unnamed fishing pole, a stick and a box, etc. His dating app profile is a picture of a big cheese and the name is 100% real. Doesn't understand why he doesn't get matches. Takes Grillby's silence as affirmative, which is unfortunate when he's detailing his plans. Surprisingly, he gets along well with everyone. Great design. Absolutely fantastic design. I love it. It's like a very Simpsons-esque design almost, like, you know. Profile Punk. A younger seeming patron always orders hot milk or cola and says he's going to order something else cooler when he gets older. However, no matter how many birthdays pile up, he just orders the same thing. Elitist towards people from Hotland and the city, however, hypocritically idolizes Grillby and often goes to the city for concerts. I don't remember Punk. I remember Mouth. Because I would talk like this as Mouth. Profile Mouth. A bit of a gourmet, tries everything on the menu. Excuse me, tries everything on the menu and reviews it for the local newspaper. The newspaper didn't ask for this, but it appreciates it. That's good. Despite the appearance, usually only takes small portions and eats everything politely. He has a lucrative job in the medical industry and uses money to buy exotic foods off for Sans like CT, Glamburger, or even fried snow. There's a rumor that there's a family member whose face looks like a nose and a few more that look like eyes. So you're going to combine them and make one super person. Great. Profile Dogs. Ever present, generating hair and playing cards. Although they keep trying to pay in bones and leave quite a mess, they are very loyal and the place feels empty if one of them is gone. I remember this table for sure. They all paid the tab when Undine comes in. So it evens out. Undine, this is why I want to replay Undertale very soon, and I'm going to do it very soon, by the way. We're going to have a replay of Undertale if we can as well. Like, that would be a really, really fun idea to me. Anyway, I'd love it. It'd be my favorite. And I think it's just because, like, reintroducing myself to characters like this. Look at this drawing as well. It's really good. The cheers, the slurp, slurp, slurp. They're great. They're really great. And Grillby just watching on. Little group. It's nice to have a little group of friends. Profile Sans. The first day he appeared, he sat down and said, "I'll take the usual." On the first day. Acting like an old-time customer, he often made everyone laugh, so he was quickly accepted as one. That's like a very Sans thing to do, isn't it? That's a very Sans thing to do. Puts all of his orders on some kind of tab, how much this gets paid, and when is known only to Grillby and Sans. And when is only known to Grillby and Sans. Seems to get along well with Grillby, sometimes helping him with odd jobs. Rarely when Grillby has to step out, he's even been seen running to the bar, just to make sure you have a sense of humor when you make an order. Yeah. Wait, he's putting a drink on the... Oh, it's on the house. Your drink? It's on the ass. And the drink's on the... Yeah, of course. Papyrus! Yes! Sometimes appears... Oh, I see Temmie down there as well. Sometimes appears if nothing other than to drag his brother back to home or to work. Apologizes profusely to Grillby and attempts to pay for his brother's tab with various bones. Explains the values and rarity of various bones and sometimes trades with Grillby for the bones he has paid by the dogs. Generally doesn't eat the food because he thinks Reese will make him break out. However, he can be convinced to have hot chocolate milk. One of the biggest theories a lot of people have is that Papyrus is definitely on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form, which again is not a bad thing in any way at all. And I think the way autism, by the way, is not something that can be seen or touched or really, in most cases you wouldn't even know that someone has autism. You wouldn't even know. And it's not, again, it makes everyone unique and different. Everyone has different, things about them if they are autistic that makes them autistic. And in no way does it make anyone lesser than. But with Papyrus, you can see here very quickly in all the very quick things, explains the rarity of bones and sometimes trades with Grillby the bones he has been paid by dogs. It's very common for asphyxiation. There's he's fixated on these bones and it's a very cute detail about Papyrus as well. And I think that's just and a lot of things he does fixate on as well. I think that one of the most one of the most depressing takes on Papyrus I've ever heard from people, and it rarely happens because I think the Undertale fan base accepts Papyrus so well, is they see the race car bed, they see the collections that he makes, they see the songs that he sings, the way he befriends people, the way he talks about his brother, and they just go he's either 3 years old or he's stupid. Which couldn't be further from the truth in so many cases. Profile: Temmie breaks out if eats the food just to change the diet, eats the food. I love Temmie. Temmie's one of my favorite characters in the goddamn world. Really, really great comic. Really, really great. Oh, so UT/DR interview series, Temmie, Undertale/Deltarune series, Temmie the interview. It's the beginning of our seasonal interview series. First up, we have an interview with none other than the exclusive Temmie. So, from what I'm gathering here, when I started making Undertale, I literally sent you a Tumblr DM asking if you agreed, and then just info dumped you on the Skype game about the game. Let me say again, you literally agreed to help. This is really, 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 really... Oh, so she helped with the game. Okay. Or they helped with the game. I think time for both of us worked out really well. I was really eager to work on games, and I didn't get asked very often for collaborative work, so I told my friends about the nice DM I got from you, and one of the friends told me that you were sparkly big shot, so I was a little starry-eyed, and I'd been recognized for my skill by a cool person. Maybe it seems a little silly now, though I think one way or the other, I'd agree to have helped you. The conclusion would have been the same once I heard your music. I only knew a few composers at the time, and I viewed them all like magicians, and to this day I still find you one of the most impressive music composers. Same. It's always a treat to hear your music, and I always forget how good you are, and I'm always blown away even listening to drafts. To this day, making music still seems like a superpower to me. I was the one who always felt lucky you reached out to me. So, Temmie worked on the game, and Temmie is a real person. What's your first impressions when I showed you the game? You managed to blow my expectations out of the water, so to go back to the first question, I read through your logs for the game, and it was a little difficult for me to entirely process what I was reading all the time. I feel like my reading comprehension isn't the greatest, but I would reread logs over and over and to grasp them better. Okay, this person worked on Undertale and says their reading comprehension isn't great. I want you all to be able to talk like this as well. Everyone in the audience, be able to talk like this. And what I mean by that is literally accept the things that make you different and accept the learning differences that you have, because everyone learns in different ways, everyone reads in different ways. Do this. Look how awesome and successful this person can be, while also admitting their differences. It's I feel like too often, especially with teenagers, we don't want to admit we're different. We don't want to admit that we learn a different way. Even if you suggest to a kid sometimes, hey, you learn better when you enunciate every single word and you have someone beside you learning with you. And if you say that in front of other kids, they're gonna start going hey, shut up, just don't say that in front of the other kid. You know what I mean? And accepting your learning differences is such a big important thing, and everyone accepting your learning differences is such a big important thing too. From what I was able to follow, the ideas and concepts sounded neat, and then I saw your first demo with Flowey, and I was like, I also remember thinking how cool Flowey's acting and laugh was. It felt so different from the other games I played at the time. I remember being a little stunned. I knew especially from that point forward the game was going to be something special. I always did Flowey's voice like this. Flowey is like an old outlaw. I don't know why I chose that voice for Flowey though. I think it was just it made sense at the time. A lot of people don't like it. I'd say the split is in terms of percentages. 90% of people love it. 10% of people are like it just doesn't fit. Which I think is one of the great things about Undertale as well, is that you'll have 10% of people constantly being like, that's not what the character sounds like. And I'm like, direct me to the voice actor. And what usually happens is they watch a playthrough of maybe like a Jacksepticeye playthrough, or they watch a playthrough of a YouTuber they like. And because they're so fixated on this one franchise, that to them is the way you do it, regardless. That's what they're used to. And again, this is another thing that isn't totally a bad thing, but that might be something you fixate on as well, you know? You kind of realize that this is the in your head how they will always be, how they will always look. It's kind of like Dark Souls lore videos, right? If you watch a Vati video lore video, and then you go and watch a stream or a old lore series from Epic Name Bro, it's very difficult for me, right, as a person, and I totally get this is why I'm trying to relate to you guys. It's very difficult for me as a person to watch the Epic Name Bro lore series, have him say a bunch of really, really good stuff about Dark Souls, and then have Vati Video have a different take on it. And at first, back when I used to do that, I used to be like, that's wrong. Then it's like, well, no, that's just their interpretation. You know what I mean? It was very easy to be like, they're wrong, but that was that's just their interpretation of everything. And sometimes that's more fun. That's more fun. Any specific memories from working on the game? I remember being in class, and I think you were trying to figure out Papyrus' personality a little more. So I started receiving messages on my phone from Papyrus. I think it took me a few seconds to realize what was happening, but I remember having fun responding. I don't think I paid attention to my class for the rest of the time, but that's okay. I don't remember what class it was. That's awesome, by the way. That's a great way to learn your character. Well, one of the things I do if ever I'm writing a character, I'm trying to relate to myself. One of the things I do, but is I usually interview them. But texting people as the character, I do have a friend who would let me do that. But it'd probably be my characters are very cringe, so she'd probably block me. Were you surprised at the reaction people had to the game when it was released? The amount of people it reached certainly did. Your writing, music composing, and directing is a powerful combo. I feel like I knew it was going to impact others like it did me. The amount of people this game has reached, though, I don't think anyone could have seen that coming. Though in my opinion, whether it reached as many people as it did or only a small few, it wouldn't have changed how special the game was. That's a great way of looking at it. I feel like I probably put so many dogs in the game because of you. You still like dogs, right? I'm sorry, I like cats more. Good on you, Tem. But I still like dogs too. Both are cute. I agree, both are cute, but I prefer cats myself. I literally made the character Aaron from Undertale have muscles to troll you. How are you muscles now? Do it still gross you out? I've grown to accept they exist. Tem, I feel like I get along with Tem. I also don't like big muscles. I like, a lean muscle, pretty nice, pretty nice. Big muscles, man, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Temmie from Undertale. The character designs of Undertale's Temmie was actually drawn by your friend Betty Kwong. I remember the drawing being some super quick doodle of Temmie crossing the street or something. However, Betty's drawing never existed. You could have designed a new Temmie now. Any ideas what it might look like? Tem says, but I believe before Betty's drawing, my avatar was just me with bunny ears, with a fluff sweater, or a dust bunny or something like these. I remember I called her bunny things, so maybe it would have been some variant of a dust bunny. The reason I wanted to include you in the game is because your way of speaking was so specific back then. You would constantly misspell things on purpose, so the speech of Temmie in the game was a slightly exaggerated version of your normal speech at times. Slowly over time you stopped speaking that way though. Well, I was going to ask you why you changed, but I think it just shifted actually. I think naturally over time the way I type shifted, but I remember those early days I had a lot of energy that I exuded through my typing. I wish that energy would return to me. That's interesting as well. We do change over time. Even as adults, we change the way we speak, we change the way we talk. There'll be, TV shows we watch, there'll be people we get involved in, there'll be people we love, there'll be people that we become friends with, the people that we split up with, and it will change a lot of our way of typing. And you might not think about it that way, but I'm pretty sure if you asked my best friend how I type now compared to how I typed last year, they'd probably be like, yeah, very different. I think now people identify more with Temloaf. Oh, the cute illustration you do yourself and your original works, but for a long time, a lot of people just treated you like you were Temmie from the game. How do you feel being primarily associated with Temmie character and the Undertale in general? It was fun at first. I didn't really understand why I was getting a lot of attention. I know I did a lot of art, but sometimes it doesn't process as being something significant. It's also not like I was the character or I was a character in the game. I don't know anymore. I do know after a while I got so much attention for being Temmie from Undertale that it felt a little strange at times, so I felt like I tried to compensate by really trying to improve my drawing skills. Begin working on smaller personal projects to feel a little bit more deserving of all that. I'm glad it pushed me to do that though, because I do enjoy chipping away at little personal projects now. Real Tem, Mascot Tem, Love Tem, Deltarune plus Undertale Tem. Really cool drawings. I love the art style. Working on Deltarune. We've been working together for almost 10 years. Kind of crazy. Getting sick of it yet? The little eye emojis. Deltarune's the development's been kind of a blur, but any funny memories of working Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2? Classics, amazing. My memory is starting to get fuzzy with earlier development for some reason, that I can't remember when I drew something. You could show me one of my drawings and say I didn't draw it, and I believe you at this point. Game development is a very long process. There actually been a few times that I've seen assets that I thought looked nice, only to be told I drew them, and I just had no memory of drawing them. So Tem is like someone who drew a lot of the assets for Undertale and Deltarune. Do you have a favorite character from Deltarune? I like Susie and Jeevel. Tem, you are very smart. Tem is a very smart person. Art. Your art is amazing. Any tips for improving and what tools do you use? Thank you. I think observation is an important skill for improvement. Learning to understand why you like it and what you like to help your development, develop your voice through your work. That is in combination with learning fundamentals like stuff like life drawing, studying life anatomy, etc. This is important and stuff I didn't do. You don't have to do this, by the way, in my opinion. You don't have to learn stuff like life drawing such anatomy. But here's the thing. Your drawings will probably be better, and your drawings will be more lifelike, and your drawings will make more sense. But to me, for art to be good, I only have to understand what you're doing. And so like if you can see that the arms I drew are like a tiny bit longer than they should be. As long as you understand what you're looking at, I'm okay with that. I did not want to do the whole process of, I learned the basics of guitar and then went on to do like fun power chords and stuff like that. I do not want to do the basics of drawing again. I did life drawing though when I was in school, so that's like enough for me, I suppose. That's what I'll take that. As normally some of this will find its way back. It also becomes more fun to look at life and observe why you like random things from life. Like when strong sunlight hitting against a vibrant red blanket makes the rest of the room red. Oh, nice. Like seeing that one. Absorbing some of this will find its way back into your work and help shape it. Tools. I use Wacom Intuos tablets in Krita to paint, Adobe Animate, After Effects to animate, and Graphiscale to do pixel art. Sometimes I draw Procreate on my iPad or Notes on my phone. Notes app on my phone. I actually use Procreate as well. Final Fantasy 16. Oh, it's 14. I'm okay with not learning about Final Fantasy 14. I've heard enough about Final Fantasy 14. Any stupid memories of us unrelated to the game? I like when we started to go into karaoke and I learned to be brave and try singing, and then learned that Tem can sing, maybe a little bit. Let's promote some of your other stuff. For examples, did you guys know that me, Camellia, Temmie, and all collaborated on the soundtrack for Temmie's original adventure game? And we'll maybe look at them at some point. I don't think this one is a question. Thank you for promoting these. It always feels like a really cool accomplishment to see these works though. I still like to listen to the music you and Camellia did for my little game. Your music is way too good for my little thing. This comic is also really exciting for me because this is my first ever getting so far into making a comic. I've always wanted to. I'm so proud of all my efforts. Lately I keep having dreams of having a perfect bound printed version for myself, and I'm feeling happy flipping through all the pages after I finish the next chapter. I'd like to actually do that. I was planning on making a little animation for it sometimes and maybe adapt it into a simple little game when I finish the comic. I'm also working on a comic that I've been working on for a very long time. Working on it, quote unquote. It's been difficult for me too. For me, it was hard working on a comic and then, getting sidetracked by stuff in life, and then all of a sudden you feel, like you're not doing as much as you thought you were doing.